Play.
Fasten your seatbelts, folks. How's that for an opening rally? Wowza.
Love 15.
When you play against Sinner, I tell you, there's not a whole lot of reprieve. He can grip it and rip it off both sides. Two-prong attack off the ground. Oh, Roger Rashid courtside, glad to announce that Mark Philippoussis has slid into the comms box alongside me for this one. Good afternoon, Flipper.
Good afternoon, Robbie. Hey, Roger, I'm excited about this one.
You should be, Mark, and the initial thoughts, just watching both their
15,
visual impressions,
13.
so just looking at tension through bodies. Stefanos is very engaged. You can see this. He looks tighter than Sinner, and Jannik generally looks like a cool cat on the court, doesn't he?
Yeah, I realised that on that second point, on that ball toss and the second serve and the double fault. So those first two serves now, the last two, getting back to 30 all is huge. He'd love to hold here just to settle down. Completely understandable. What a huge occasion and huge opportunity for both these guys.
40-30.
Interesting. One predictor has got Sinner as the pre-match favorite. I clearly haven't seen Tsitsipas falling often enough this week. But I guess the reason for that, Mark, is given that he's just come back from the elbow surgery. It was about 2 months ago, started slowly with ATP Cup before he's finally found his feet, and the question mark over the number of hours that he's spent on the court is probably factored into that as well.
Well, I spoke to the, I speak a lot to his father and to the camp, and after the surgery, the doctor initially wanted him 3 months before he'd be playing, and he started, and it's been 2 months. So, but since the ATP Cup, there's been no pain at all, no discomfort. He said he feels great, and he's not thinking about the elbow, which is great news. And as we've talked about, he's made some tweaks as far as the strings he's using to help that matters as well. And I'll tell you what else he's made. Tweaked. You had a talk in the lounge in a sec. He's a complete professional. He's always trying to do everything right, and he stopped eating meat because he doesn't want to deal with inflammation. So since the surgery, he's been only eating fish. So no more meat. He believes it's been helping him on the inflammation side for his elbow, which is interesting.
Wouldn't go well here in Australia, though, when you like to get the barbie out and whack a steak and some snags and chops.
As they say, Roger, a couple of shrimp on the barbie.
Was he watching Gale last night when he was unloading those forehands? That was,
15-all.
what a great rally from both players, but hasn't Stefanos come out firing?
I mean, what an athlete he is. Got to remember, this guy is every bit of 6'4". Dad enjoyed that one. Have to keep an eye on him. He needs to behave. Got into a little bit of trouble in Stefanos' previous match, coaching from the side, talking a lot, shall we say. That was against Taylor Fritz, that one going the distance, 5 sets before Tsitsipas eventually prevailed. How good is this start from both? And this is what we want to see. Both men playing well at the same time for long periods.
Now it's interesting because Tsitsipas used that chip because I think he wanted to bring him to the net, but that was the wrong decision on what side, and I don't think he was in the right positioning on the court to do that. But what I love is the fact that he's thinking out there. He's standing further back on the serve. He's allowing himself more time, and it really looks like he's got a plan out here today.
That ball is really bouncing off the court, that kick serve. He's got a really effective kick serve, does Sinner. And these conditions are going to allow that and give him these opportunities here.
He's got that elastic energy. He's not the biggest of guys. Not too dissimilar to a Djokovic build. Wiry strength.
He sort of plays tall though, boys, if you know what I mean. He's got a bit of length in his limbs as well.
He looks taller, correct, Roger? He looks taller than he is, doesn't he? Like the way he plays.
30.
There's his camp on the right of your screen. I think it's Ricardo Piati's coach. The guy just next to him with the glasses, his physio, Claudio Zamaglia. Great team around him, so much experience. Of course, for years, Piatti worked with a lot of the great Italian players. He was with Djokovic for a year, Milos Raonic, helped Maria Sharapova. Sinner actually was discovered by Massimo Sartori, who was the coach of Andrea Seppi for a decade and some change.
I love that play. I love the fact that he's got more time in the second serve, and that was a better return because he's got to be careful. Last time, if he drops it anywhere short, Sinner's going to be all over it. So that's a good play, but you just need to be careful that he gives himself time, making sure it's a deep return and getting in good court positioning.
That Tsitsipas forehand is something else, isn't it, boys?
Not just that, the only way you can do that is through pure athleticism. I mean, his athleticism around the court, to get himself around the court, his fast footwork, and then his acceleration on the ball was, well, that was sublime. And this is This is fantastic tennis early.
No signs of any fatigue from Tsitsipas, given that 5-set battle he had with Fritz in the previous round. He's got a break point early doors. Too central, a little too passive, and Tsitsipas pounces. Cranking forehands left, right, and center to get the early break.
And what he's using, boys, is the conditions, because Tsitsipas's ball does have a lot more flight. There's no doubt about that, and it pops off the court, and this is about the perfect court for him today. And so Sinner's obviously going to try and take the ball on the up and massage that. He does like getting on the front foot, but this is a tricky ball to handle.
Love 15.
Tsitsipas trying to reach the semi-finals here for the 3rd time. Did so in 2019 and of course last year.
All.
Guys, that's what's been impressive for me in the last couple of matches for Tsitsipas is his serve. It's almost kept him alive in this event the last couple of matches on big occasions. That's going to be a very important part for him today at first serve percentage. If he continues to get that good percentage of first serves and get some free points, he's going to loosen up and be even freer on the ground strokes from the back of the court.
Yes, previous match, not far away from 70% first serves in over the course of 5 sets against Fritz. That's impressive, Mark, isn't it?
They're great numbers, great numbers.
Just under it. He was well tested in the 2nd round against Sebastian Baez of Argentina. We did that match as well. First serve percentage nice and high, and of course we know when he lands that first blow how effective he is behind the serve, because generally you're getting an average reply and then he brings that big forehand into play, and he's so good at dictating with that shot.
Right, because he went to 4 sets, but the set that he lost was a tiebreaker. Actually, that whole match didn't lose one service game. It's tough to lose when you don't lose one service game, right?
Game, Tsitsipas.
Perfect start for Stefanos. Races to a 3-love lead. I think you're thinking of the Benoit Paire match. Benoit Paire, he didn't get broken, lost the tiebreaker. Also had a tiebreaker against Baez, though.
Yes, sorry about that. You're right, Robbie.
Baez got him on 2 occasions, but he's been one of the few guys to make some serious inroads into Steph's serve. That's, I think, a part of this guy's game that's going to have to improve as well. Get a little bit more pop on the serve, but at 20 years young, he has got so many years ahead of him, and great team around him. I think it's so important for the youngsters these days. A man, and Piatti, who I like to call the old wise sage of the tour. Well, it's been a scorcher of a day here in Melbourne. A nice morning down at Brighton Beach. Get a good cup of Java on Australia Day and then make your way to Rod Laver Arena to watch some of the best players in the world ply their trade. It's the quarterfinals of the Australian Open. A spot up for grabs in the semis.
Please take your seats quickly.
Winner of this match.
Ladies and gentlemen, players are ready.
Take on the winner of the match this evening between Auger Aliassime of Canada and Daniil Medvedev of Russia.
$15 left.
The most impressive thing for me with Sinner when I watch him play is his ability to stand up on the court, take the ball on the rise, and you'll see right here it's a special talent, and it actually allows you to just squeeze the court up to your opposition, get the ball back to them quick. You can see they're on the top of the rise. It's a beautiful trade.
Such a clean ball striker. He's also got a maturity beyond his years, despite the fact that he was late to the tennis party before he was discovered at 14 years of age by Massimo Sartori and brought to the Piatti Tennis Center in Bordighera. He was only playing tennis twice a week, guys. Twice a week, that's it. Skiing was his passion. He was one of the top skiers in the country.
Game, Sinner.
And his rise has been meteoric, and he's the kind of kid,
Tsitsipas
he won't
leads.
panic, despite the fact
3
this is a big
games
match.
to
He's
1.
just 20 years of age. He's very comfortable in this environment. He's surrounded by and has practiced with a lot of the greats of the game in the Monte Carlo area for a couple of years now. Novak, you know, Milos Raonic, David Goffin, Grigor Dimitrov, they're all there. He feels like he belongs.
15 left. $30 left.
That's special.
30-15.
Yeah, that backhand was just pure down the line. Tsitsipas not doing enough with that. And just leaving just too much room down that line. You got to follow that line of that forehand, follow to the net and cover that side. Too much time. Beautiful backhand.
love the fact that he's just been passed, but no problem coming
40,
in. And for me, I don't know about
15.
you, he's one of the top 3 volleyers on tour. But it's not just the execution, it's understanding where he needs to be at the net. Make those gaps feel as small as possible.
Game, Tsitsipas.
Yeah, what a start for Stefanos.
Tsitsipas leads 4 games
Very much in
to 1.
charge of proceedings after just 20 minutes. It's 4-1.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Deep thinker is the Greek. If you're wondering what that is, that's paddle courts, very popular in Europe these days.
Time.
Grounds here at Melbourne Park have been landscaped beautifully. Good crowds in. Of course, some famous faces in the crowds today. Given that it's Australia Day, you can understand just why. Apostolos Tsitsipas, Steph's dad and coach. Always pretty vocal in his encouragement of his son. He'll be delighted with the opening 5 games.
Fifteen left.
A couple of faces in the crowd, sitting in the VIP section, of course. We'll see Rocket Rod, Neil Fraser's there, Frank Sedgman, Paul McNamee. We'll see Frommy, Richard Fromberg. Of course, speaking of fame and recognition, big shout out to Dylan Alcott, who has been named the 2022 Australian of the Year. An officer of the Order in the Australia Day Honours list. Wow. D8, that's phenomenal, but well done.
You know what, guys? He missed that volley, but I love that play.
14.
Nice chip, a little sneaking, just to get Sinner thinking.
Look, I think Stefanos is the most natural, outside of Roger, I think, the natural transition player. You going to name a few others, Robbie? You got anyone else you can throw in there?
I mean, Dan Evans is unbelievable in the forecourt. Proper
Yeah.
hands. Knows how to cover the space.
Game, Sinner.
What I love about just continuing on that was a good hold from Sinner. Needs to keep the scoreboard tight.
Tsitsipas leads 4
Stefanos,
games to 2.
he's like Roger, how he steps over on top of the court and then takes the ball on the rise. So he's already inside the court and smothering you, and so therefore he can get really tight and rush you to get to the ball and make a pass. It's a real
Thank you.
asset.
Yeah, it's one of the most frustrating things,
Love 15.
playing against a guy who rushes you as much as a Federer or Tsitsipas does. I heard Andrei Medvedev describe playing somebody who takes the ball early as it's like taking dictation from somebody who talks very quickly. I thought that was an apt analogy. There it is again, right there. I see you nodding, Roger. You enjoyed that one.
Yeah, he's able to hold the court,
15.
and then if he has time, he could easily follow that up, knowing his opponent's going to be on the stretch and he was going to get an easy reply through the air. So it's a great art, and there's a reason why we think he can reach the top of the game.
And then the ability to take pace out of the shot and then just create
13,
a ridiculous angle.
15.
He couldn't have wished for a better start. Pulling and pushing Sinner in all directions.
Oh, that's too good. That is great moving from Sinner. Again, you give him a little opening, just the way he moves, with also his racket skills and hand skills. Finding a way to pass. That, you just got to say, too good.
Let's first serve.
Great close. Great close, the way he moved in after that forehand.
40-30.
But there's the beauty, right? Many different options for him to win points.
Game, Tsitsipas. New ball
Well, this
space.
is about as good as it gets. Tsitsipas
Tsitsipas leads 5 games
has
to
played
2.
almost faultless tennis to take a 5-2 lead. I love the purpose with which Tsitsipas does everything. The way he walks, chest out, shoulders back. He's a real Adonis of a human being. He's got perfect tennis physique, great height, very broad in his shoulders, which helps your swing arc, ability to generate torque. Strong in his legs, not too heavy in the upper body. You want to have wide shoulders, but you don't want to be too big in the chest.
Time.
Well, a couple of highlights last year for Stefanos Tsitsipas, of course, winning his first Masters 1000 title in Monte Carlo, one in Lyon, amongst others. But perhaps the bittersweet moment was making it to the finals of the French Open and then going 2 sets to love up against Novak, but eventually getting reeled in. That definitely hurt
Thank you.
the rest of a season big time. Looking to wipe the slate clean here in 2022.
15. Love.
Just a reminder, went 39-9 the first 5 months of the year, and then 15-9 in the second 5 months of the year. So it really was a season of 2 halves for him.
30 love.
It's been a mature set from Sinner after he's lost that service game. He really knuckled down and looked after his side of the court.
Forty, 15.
Yeah, Sinner came out just a little, I don't want to say relaxed, but showing a little too much respect maybe to Tsitsipas and his game, trying to be a little passive, and that allowed Tsitsipas to jump all over and take advantage, but he's definitely found himself in the last few games.
We know who he's supporting.
Game, Sinner.
Well, after that initial lapse of concentration in his opening service game,
leads 5 games to 3.
it's been rock solid. The question is, can Tsitsipas continue serving and backing it up as well as he has done in his first 4 service games to try and close out set number 1? Always that little extra pressure when you are trying to do just that. Oh, wow. How about that?
Out of nowhere, huh? I love the fact that he's just not scared to throw that in at all.
Second serve and volley.
Let's first serve.
Nico Hellworth from Germany, the chair umpire.
All.
The region of Italy where Sinner is from. In the north is a very much German-speaking region. Yeah, he's given up a few too many freebies there, hasn't he, on those second serve returns.
Yeah, he knows it too, right? 15 all. Got to make him play second serve, especially after a double fault. That's just so well done. Seeing that forehand, coming in behind it, nice solid forehand volley, but not deep, landing on the base, on the service line, sorry. So Sinner had to come up and then covering the net beautifully for that put away.
No panic. That is what this opening set has been all about. body language of Sinner. He's down set point.
40-30.
Now the guy's serving for it, Eddie's just quietly confident, pumping his fist, understanding the visual effect, understanding the bigger picture. It's all about the next point. Set point Tsitsipas.
Game, first set,
Calm,
Tsitsipas. 6
calculated,
games to 3.
ruthlessly efficient off both the serve and the forehand, and the Greek wins the opener 6-3. Well, it just goes to show the level at which you have to operate against the very best players in the world. You just have a lapse of concentration for 2 or 3 minutes, and the set just gets taken away from you. We saw it in the 5th set yesterday evening with Monfils and Berrettini. Slight lapse, start of the 5th from Gale. And Berrettini ripped the match away from him. Quick look at the numbers, Mark. What do you make of them?
Again, 62%. It's a good percentage of first serves, 2 aces, 2 double faults, but the winners, you see there's more unforced errors than winners, but it's when he made them. And the most important one is to break points. 1 of 1 against 0. I mean, that was a very solid set from Tsitsipas, mixing up the play incredibly well on the baseline, moving into net, sneaking into net, working the ball, staying back on the second serve. He came out with a plan and definitely put that to work.
Time.
He's got a lot of belief as this young man, can play well on different
Second
surfaces.
Sinner,
Very much
deserve.
at home on a hard court. Perhaps Clay his favorite surface,
Please,
but he
ladies
showed
and
us
gentlemen, take your
he can
seats
go
quickly.
deep at the hard court
Ready for
majors
play.
too. Yes, 1 set to the good against Sinner.
He's also done a very good job, Tsitsipas, of
15.
going back behind Sinner and making him change that direction and not just natural flow across the baseline. That's worked for him on a number of occasions. And the beauty of Sinner, you talked about him, Robbie, earlier, is that this 5-set platform is made for him because his emotional control right across the board is very stable. There's no roller coaster ride on the tennis court for him.
That was the right play. He was ready to come to net. Just needed to be stable, make contact with the ball, and then move forward. He's so eager to come to net. Sometimes he's in the middle of hitting the ball while he's moving, and then just comes off the ball a little bit.
You know, Roger, we're talking about
40,
his
15.
emotional control, and one of the things that his coach Riccardo Piatti has done with him ever since first brought him on board was take him to dinners with all the great players that he was coaching and just listen to their stories, pick their brains, make him understand what their thought processes were in big moments.
Game.
And I think that's the reason he has
First
the
game,
beautiful demeanor that he
second
does. It's a nice balance between showing good positivity and, as you like to say, Rog, you know, rewarding yourself, patting yourself on the back every now and then, and, you know, still keeping pretty calm, not getting too emotionally out of control.
Yeah, I think we definitely give ourselves a hard time with the focus, and he's someone that doesn't. He generally moves on, puts himself in the best possible position for the next challenge that's in front of him, and that's the key to being successful. Doesn't mean you win on the scoreboard, but it means you keep the door open.
So, one break to had Sinner taken this one early on. Only just. Things swung viciously in Tsitsipas' way.
15 left.
Again, when you win the opening set, the odds go up significantly.
$30 left. Let for serve. Out. 40 left. $40-15.
Just to give you an idea and put that into perspective, look, he hasn't played a whole lot of matches across the two hard court majors, has Tsitsipas. We're talking about main draw matches here. 14 in total. He's only ever lost one when he's won the opening set.
That's game.
So there's a
Tsitsipas.
barometer for the importance of set number one. That was against Borna Coric, actually, at the US
Game
Open
on.
back in 2020. That's one you'll want to forget. If memory serves, had something like 7 match points, 6 or 7 match points.
I remember that one.
$15 left.
I was right, this isn't too chip and charge, but I'm not sure that was the direction you should have gone after that really nice deep return.
$15 all.
I can't believe.
Couple of raindrops, boys.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if they're raindrops. I think I saw a couple of pigeons just fly by you, Roger, above you.
Well, I'm ducking because there's plenty of them then above me, if that is the case. It's humid here, so.
Some rain is forecast later on.
So there's a dark cloud from where I'm sitting on this backhand side of Tsitsipas.
15-30.
And it's coming across, so we may get a little interruption here.
Well,
Obviously, when it hits the deck, it drives pretty quick, but
that could be very interesting if that happens as far as momentum. I was going to say how incredibly impressed I am with the way Tsitsipas has come out in this match, how relaxed he looked. He does not look rushed at all at any time during the rallies.
We did match against Sebastian Baez second round. The backhand wasn't timing it well at all. Looking a lot more dialed in today. There's Andreas Egli, one of the supervisors.
30 all.
Not just suggest. You can see that the roof is quite far across, folks. I don't know if they've just snuck that closed a little bit more in the last couple of minutes. Underneath Rod Laver Arena, they've got their own little weather station. They can monitor the weather.
Oh, that's pure. The way he stepped into that, put that right foot down and just accelerated.
30-40.
And what was as impressive as that whole point was, just the way he changed direction at the last moment with that backhand down the line. Stepping in, look at that. Just right down, no head movement. 129 kilometers an hour right down the line.
Tsitsipas leads.
What a start this has been for Stefanos. He's been relentless in his pursuit of excellence. He's up a set and a break.
what he's done extremely well out here is that flighted ball. That's the one that's hard to handle. Whenever he's able to get that up nice and high, and it's ripping and popping and using the heat out of the court, it looks like Sinner's actually comfortable coming at it, but you do that over and over again and then try and make the play a little bit. It's not as easy as he's probably making it to look.
And you catch one of those just a little off center and it lands short, Rog. You're going to have to deal with Stefanos' forehand thereafter, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. So, and there I think shows this enormous variety in his game, that he's able to find different ways to get at you and challenge you. And with Sinner liking to step up on the ball, it's a challenging ball.
God bless.
So I think the rain now is just starting to come down a little too hard for Sinner's liking. Wayne McKeown was waiting in the wings.
Some pretty solid drops, by the way, boys. It's a big bird flip. Very busy up there.
Well, guys, you know how these things can change momentum.
Can we get the thing ready? Can we get the... Can we...
Craig Tiley just making sure everything is done properly. He has been a busy man in the last couple of weeks as CT. And I think Wayne McKeown, who is just there behind the umpire's chair, will have a discussion with both players to see if they want to perhaps close the roof, or if the boys are happy to wait for this passing cloud to go away and keep it as an outdoor event, because that's essentially what you want to do and that's how you want to play it. And again, they've got a full weather system right under this Rod Laver Arena.
Well, it's interesting they would wait because it's getting quite wet now, and they're obviously considering the fact that they'd like to keep it as an outdoor, both players. And once it does stop, obviously with the heat in the court, things will dry very, very quickly. But right now, there's a pretty large cloud above, and I guess it depends on if it sits on top of us and how much it actually dumps.
situations and not to get annoyed, not to get frustrated.
Yeah, I did. I'm a big person in just sitting in the emotions of what's in front of you, so and just relaxing and accept it, because there's no change, there's no shift, and be ready when it's time that you can engage, and that means focusing on something, whether it's actually going through your little routine that gets you to the service line or to the returning position. But in between that time, I'm very much about relax, don't stress it. It's part of the environment, and everything's going to be okay once we start again. So that was my method around dealing with, no, it is my method, full stop, dealing with things that aren't in your control, is to just absorb it and say, this is part of it.
Here, in the words of Rafael Nadal, I must just accept. I think he's one of the best that the game has ever seen when it comes to things like that, irrespective of what's going on.
And we've got the roof closing too, as you might be able to see as well. So lights are coming on, lights are on, and obviously they've decided to shut the roof by the looks of it, unless they're just looking to shut the majority of the roof to stop the rain, so they can automatically start cleaning the court, and then by the time this passes, they'll only have that little net section to look after. So that's maybe what they're doing at the moment, shutting the roof, cleaning it, getting it dry, and then once this passes, we'll slide it back open again.
You can see how quickly the area dries where the ball kids have already used the towels. They're just good old school manual labor.
Roger, is there a towel next to you? Can you just do something?
Yeah, well, I thought I'd better whack an umbrella up, because I almost was going to ask for some soap and then a shower. I was getting that wet. But it does dry so quickly.
I guess this moisture will take a little bit of the sting out of the heat. Almost an hour on the clock. I'm sure Sinner won't mind the delay, given that the momentum is firmly with Tsitsipas. In his mind, he'll be hoping that it is indeed a momentum stopper. Here's the roof on RLA that is
Pretty solid rain, but too, by the way, boys. These aren't small little sprinkles, these droplets.
Guys, this is going to be such a huge test. More for Tsitsipas than Sinner when they come back to start.
okay, the applause, because the roof is shut, but still a bit of work to do. If you weren't with us earlier today, it was a very strong win for Danielle Collins against Alice Cornet in the opening match here on the Rod Laver Arena. Collins back to the semi-finals at the AO. Let's not forget, not the first time that she's ventured that deep in the draw. A player with an incredible amount of self-belief, and she'll tell you just that. Beating Cornet 5-1. Iga Swiatek, a winner earlier today against Kanepi. What a great story Kanepi has been this week. But the young Pole has been simply too good. Her record at the majors and the last couple of years has been special. Big-time player, loves the big stage. Number 4, 7:30 tonight. After this one, it'll be Felix and Daniil getting to the pointy end of the first major of 2022. He knows what it feels like to compete on finals Sunday. Did so at Roland Garros, was 2 sets to love up. Couldn't shut the gates on Novak. This young man will want to be there sooner rather than later. Very interesting, Riccardo Piatti, when speaking about Sinner's meteoric rise, the fact that he's, you know, won a couple of titles, had a great season last year, won 4 titles, did Sinner. He said, don't worry about winning majors or anything just yet. He needs a minimum of 150 matches at tour level. That was an interesting number that Piatti put out there. Currently, Rog sitting at 124. So, and Piatti says once he's played 150, that's when he thinks he'll be ripe and ready to perhaps win one of these.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I guess you never know with an athlete. I mean, they look at the US Open last year. You know, we had two finalists that we never thought would get there, and on the women's side, and so you just don't know the journey or when the draw fits. But what we do know with Sinner is that he's got a product and he's got the capability to play on this stage, and he has the weapons to actually dismantle a lot of the field, and that's only in its infancy, and it's developing, and it's going to be a, you know, in 12 months' time. Look, I agree with Riccardo that this is a development stage, but just never. I could see Sinner. I could see Sinner get through matches here.
Yep. And I guess the other side of the equation is, by putting that number out there, maybe you are creating a limiting belief inadvertently on your player, Rog.
Exactly. I think it's just a big world out there, and you put them out there, you let them compete, and we don't know what's going on in their mind. We don't know when they transition. We can see here just with all these highlights of this early match, he does so many good things that will translate into big wins and opportunities in the second week of majors. And the biggest one for mine is his composure. And the next one where I think the biggest improvement's going to come is the serve. And that's going to give him some different type of security and belief at the back end of majors when you need a weapon to get you through.
Both these guys got serious weapons, but Tsitsipas is a little bit bigger than Sinner's. Well, the rain was forecast after what has been 7 or 8 days of very warm weather. Those cumulonimbus clouds are starting to form up above. Big mushroom.
Do you know your clouds? Do you, Robbie?
You know what? It's about the only thing I ever remember from my high school geography, Rog.
Is that right? You know what? You were up there. You were living in the clouds.
For the most part, you're probably right.
So the players getting straight into it, I would think.
I think it's a 3-minute warm-up.
I reckon they probably need about 30 seconds, these two. Let's feel a few balls in here and then let's get on with it. I mean, that's a long time after you've been playing for just over an hour. Thoughts?
Aren't we having a 3-minute warm-up?
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a 3-minute re-warm-up. After that, we commence the match.
So it's official. Yeah, if the break is longer than 15 minutes, then it's a 3-minute warm-up. If it's 31 minutes and longer, you get the full 4 minutes. Of course, remember that warm-up has been cut down by a minute. And,
so what are we doing here?
3 minutes, Rog, 3 minutes.
I know that, but I'm asking you the question, what are we doing here? What are we achieving? So they feel the ball for about, you know, they've hit 20 balls each. They're ready. Keep going. That's my point.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes. I agree with you. 90 seconds would be enough. Turn the arm over a couple of times with the serve. And yeah, let's crack on with it, because how often will a player warm up 3 hours before a match, right? And then have to wait before eventually taking to the match court. So it is something in our sport that is quite unusual.
2 minutes.
Trying to think of other sports where you have where you warm up for it and you warm up again on the match court. Doesn't really happen. But if you are joining us for the first time, just a recap of what happened in that opening set. It was Tsitsipas came out all guns blazing, broke center in his opening service game, went up 2-love, raced a 3-love lead by cementing that break, and that was sufficient to help the Greek bag the opening set. No, the breaks of serve thereafter. Sinner unable to garner a single break point against the Tsitsipas serve. 6-3, and the break right now in the third game means Steph is a 2-1 up. You can see how gloomy it was looking outside.
Watch out.
Yeah, so that's Melbourne weather for you. We were up to, I think at one stage, 39 degrees today, the mercury. Trying to touch the 40-degree mark, not quite getting there. And now it's
30
horrendous
seconds.
cup. It was predicted. For once, the local weatherman getting it spot on. So the roof is closed. The players are having another warm-up. Tsitsipas winning the opening set 6-3. Just the one breaker serve. And he's got the early break here in the third game, the game that has just been completed before the rain started to come down. We were hoping, we were keeping our fingers crossed that the rain might skirt by Rod Laver Arena, but it was coming down just a little too strong. And the supervisor, Wayne McEwen, just made an executive decision to close the roof and let the players get on with it. So it's been, I reckon, about 20-25 minutes since the last ball was struck in anger. Now, the roof will remain closed for the duration of this match, irrespective of what the weather is like outside.
2-1 second set.
I also wonder if we're going to see any one of the two guys quickly take a racket away to change string tension during this match now that they've closed the roof.
Tsitsipas with a set and a break in the pocket.
Love 15.
Roger, I almost feel like the match has just started again.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. This is second stage, second edition of this match, isn't it? Interesting to see what happens with the court. There'll still be heat in the court, so obviously there's bounce. Humidity is still in the air as well.
This was so important for Tsitsipas to try and get an easy service game. It's not done yet, 40-15, but man, it's helping when that first serve goes in.
Game, Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leads 3-1.
Indoors, outdoors, it don't matter. I'm still going to kick your butt. That's what somebody told me one time.
Rain or shine, huh?
He was taking no prisoners. Boys, I'm just having a look at these guys' records indoors.
15 left.
And initially just looking at Sinner, you know, he's won titles. Antwerp, believes indoors. Whereas that's the only one that springs to mind. Whereas Tsitsipas, he's played some good tennis indoors. Of course, won the Tour Finals back in 2019 in London. Won in Marseille. Twice in Marseille, Stockholm.
13 left.
Won the next gen finals. Tsitsipas in Milan. He'll be very comfortable as well with these conditions. Anytime you win the Tour Finals, you certainly know how to play indoors.
See, guys, that's the one he runs through them, where there's no reason to. You set yourself, you hit. There's no reason to rush and run through it. He's pretty much at the service line already. Do you agree? I just feel like he loses a little bit on contact when he does that.
It'll be interesting to chat to him right after that shot and see how he feels about it. Did he feel uncomfortable on the contact, or did it feel completely natural? It was just a stupid mistake.
Rod, you got a good height over there. What do you see when he hits those?
Look, I think that was just in the normal motion because he had to get around. So I like that. I like that bit of movement. So. Sorry, Margaret. I understand that if he charged at the ball, but I think that was a little bit of flow. So down on court side, I think you would have been happy with it. Okay. I don't want to disagree with you too many times, though, Flip. You're a big unit.
I mean, I don't think both of us could take him on.
Hey, Robbie, what did that person say to you every time they played you?
Yeah, indoors, outdoors, it don't matter. I'm still going to kick your butt.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with you two.
Hey, man, I got an SAS guy alongside me here, so be careful, Rog.
Time.
And of course, with the roof being closed, I'll crank up the AC. That'll bring the temperature of this Rod Laver Arena down substantially, and happens quickly. There's that same shot again.
15 left.
Moving through the forehand on contact.
Man, is he hitting the ball clean today?
30 left.
And the pickups of the half volleys at the back of the court, they hit with so much currency back to his opponent.
Federer-esque.
Yeah, normally those shots, you're kind of looking to get him back in play deep, get in good position. Like, he's accelerating off those pickups.
It's such a weapon, this forehand, isn't it?
Talk about accelerating. Look at this thing.
Landing on the outside foot beautifully there. That's the one he just drags every now and then.
40-15.
Pretty natural to miss that though every now and then, because you're coming so rapidly around. So if you don't get around and have that little settling step to straighten you, it's a natural pull of the ball.
Game, Tsitsipas.
That service laid the foundation.
Tsitsipas leads 4-2.
For the duration of this match, he's made 70% of first serves in this set. In this set alone, 87%. That's an A+ in my books.
Wow, yeah, 87.
Right back at you. He's getting bullied at the moment.
15 left.
But he's got a nice body blow in himself, has Sinner. How's this view of it? That felt good. I know Tsitsipas has lost that point there, Mark, but
30
do you ever
left.
play against the guy whose forehand was so good, like I said, and you're always struggling to find their backhand? And even when you think you hit a good shot, to catch them on the forehand, they send it back with interest. It's so frustrating, isn't it?
It's just that pressure that it builds as the match goes on. The court shrinks.
Yeah, and they're so good at hiding their weakness. That's a nice little bit of variety. Good body language too.
40
You wouldn't look at him and
left.
think that he's down a set and a break. Quick change of the grip. He's inside the baseline when he plays the shot. It means the ball has got less distance to travel. It's the green light to hit a drop shot.
Let's. First serve.
Oh man, that skill set there.
I mean, the return was incredible, but I thought he was in
14,
trouble when he was going to
15.
move in. I wasn't, you know, with that forehand, he got caught in no man's land. But look at the way he handled this. No problem.
Yeah, I just hit a winner.
Yeah.
Game. Sinner. New balls
He's
placed.
playing catch up. Still trying to loom large in the rear view mirror of
leads
Tsitsipas is Jannik.
4-3.
Now, these players will take on a lot of flirt. We were hearing yesterday that Nadal lost about 4 kilograms in his match against Dennis. That's how brutal the conditions have been. That's how much a long match takes out of you. So far, so good for the Greek, who's been flying the flag together with Maria Sakkari for their country oh so beautifully. Looking to reach his 5th major semi-final is Steph. And he's made a very bright start here. Serving with new balls.
What also helps with the roof being closed, and Tsitsipas has played for a couple of extra hours, obviously, and yes, he's got the first set and he was leading an early break, but now not having the sun pounding down is very much advantageous for him.
Again, quick he is to recognize he's got his opponent under pressure.
Let's first serve.
It's just holding that forehand beautiful, like Roger said, right? Just going behind him so many times and being effective at that shot.
I don't mind that miss. I mean, he's given Sinner his full repertoire of forehands in this match already. Goes back behind him, he moves forward through the forehand. When he wants to go down the line, sharp angle cross. And he does all that whilst still taking the ball on the rise. Terrible to play against, terrible.
Out. Again, Tsitsipas.
And on top of that, he's serving well. That's why Sinner is in a world of hurt here.
Leads 5 games to 3.
I mean, he's like a caged lion, isn't he, with his mane behind him. There's Tsitsipas just up and down, up and down.
That reminds me of Roger just waiting to order lunch.
Point there, we've got to feed the beast, no doubt about that. The beauty, the thing I want to see for Sinner here, if he makes any adjustments, because you're right, Robbie, this aggressive nature from Tsitsipas is perfect. This is perfect game plan. Pressure, push forward, take time away. Really uncomfortable, so he can't set. This is Sinner who likes to take the ball on the rise, but he decides to push, try and push back. And it might not happen right now, but just if there's a mindset change of doing something, especially if he drops his second set, you've got to throw everything at your opponent moving forward.
Left.
Oh, that was a beautiful forehand from Sinner. That time, cutting off the angle, taking it early. Look at this. Moving forward. Not too forward, but man, did he hit that.
Oh, he's clubbed that return.
40-15.
You know, even if you miss that, I love that play. You know what? Because it sends a message to your opponent. Because on the second serve, I'm going to hang around and give it a hit. And he's going to think about that at 30-all in tight situations next time.
Let's for serve. Fouls.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It's beyond beautiful.
40-13.
I'm not sure if you two did the fixed match, but there's no doubt that if we had a comparison of Tsitsipas's ball striking position, that he would be closer in this match.
Oh, much closer. He was way behind the baseline in that match.
But I mean, you've got to give Fritz props as well on that department. I mean, he's
agree.
one of the biggest ball strikers, isn't he?
You're right, Robbie. He was working that forehand that night.
Love the body language, letting Tsitsipas know that he is still very much up for the fight, even though he is down 5-4. Taking a few electrolytes in his drinks.
Time.
Well, he has been impeccable on his serve thus far in the match as Tsitsipas. Sinner has yet to see a break point in the hour and a half that this contest has been ongoing. I would love another comfortable service hold here to shut the gates on set number 2. See how it shakes out. That's a pretty good start, and he knows it. Look at the body language there. Understands the importance of that first point. Another unreturned. 44% of his serves have been unreturned in this match.
30 left.
Serving has been off the charts in the second set. Off the charts.
30-15. Bounce. I
think if there's one area in the return game that Sinner will be annoyed at, it's the number of second serve returns that he's missed. Hasn't even got the ball back into play. That miss has given Tsitsipas 2 set points.
Oh, wow. I mean, look at the way he moved up to this ball.
Greek fan not happy. I mean, shouldn't be losing that point, he's thinking. He wants his man to get a 2 sets to love lead. He's got a second chance here. And he does indeed take it on the second set points. Tsitsipas looking awfully good here now that he has won the second and has a 2 set to love lead.
That was very impressive. Boys, boys going for a change. I've got Darren sitting next to me. Killer, give me a quick thought on the first 2 sets.
Well, I think Stefanos is really just dictating with his forehand, right? So he's got the bigger advantage and the bigger serve. That's the big difference between the 2 players at the moment. He's getting some free points on the serve. And the forehand rallies, Sinner's got to get out of that, because every time he goes forehand cross-court to Stefanos, drops it a little bit short, Stefanos is taking that forehand up the line, and it's the one that's been killing him. So it gives him a bit of a chance to move to the net. But I love the way he's sort of striding around the court. He looks a lot more confident than he did against Taylor Fritz, and there's all business about him. And also, remember, against Taylor, he was a little bit upset with the time violation early. He got a coaching violation, so I think emotionally he was all over the place. But this one, he looks completely locked on.
That's it, boys. You've heard it from probably, well, he's the world's best coach, so that's about as good a summary as you'd want to get.
Oh, thanks very much, Rog. But tell you what, 2 Adelaide boys together, I'm not so sure about that. Got to watch those South Australians. It was just raining down winners off that forehand side of Tsitsipas. I mean, that shot he has made look so easy. Difficulty factor was right up there. Setting things up with the backhand and finishing with the fear hand. Locked and loaded.
Hey, Roger, thank Darren for his time. Tell him the next Sam Booker's on me.
Well, he just gave me an invoice.
Yep, Greeks are flying high. They're going to have somebody to support for the next decade or so. You've got Stefanos on the men's side of things. You've got Maria Sakkari on the women. What about Italian tennis? Matteo Berrettini becoming the first man to make it through to the semi-finals here at the Australian Open. Jannik Sinner trying to follow in his footsteps, but it's going to be a monumental effort now, given, first of all, how well Tsitsipas is playing, and secondly, anytime you come back from 2 sets to love down, it requires something extraordinary. So the only way that can be done is 1 point at a time. There's no shortcuts. It's hard work.
Third set, Sinner to serve.
Set number 3. Much more purposeful hitting.
15 left. Ups. 30 left. Thirty, 15. Bounce. Forty, 15.
Important game, isn't it, for the young man? This is where the learning will come in play. 2 sets to love down against quality opposition, 4th player, 4th seed here. Going to learn a lot about himself right now in the next piece of time.
Game, Sinner. First game, third set.
Yeah, that is true.
He's going to be in these situations a lot, isn't he, in the future, in big matches. And how do I navigate my way through, and what do I change to upset the rhythm, which is definitely in favour of Tsitsipas right now.
What if you could get in his ear, Rog? If you could just have 30 seconds right now, you had to give him 1 or 2 pointers. What would you say to Sinner?
I would like Justin to experiment with trying to take the court away a little bit, just expose himself to that if he makes a few errors. I think because he can do that, he steps up on the court nicely and takes the ball on the rise. Let's see if he can have a little pushback, just to see what that does to his opponent. That would be my only thing. You don't want to give him too many messages, by the way. It's just one piece.
Yep.
Thank you.
I mean, the forehand,
15.
an analysis
Love.
piece on the Tsitsipas forehand so far would just be absolutely gorgeous. He has shown us every shot. Power, cross-court, down the line, the chip, the heavy angle. from both sides of the court, hitting the forehand on the right side of the court, hitting it, running around his backhand and hitting it from the left side of the court. Such a complete shot.
And you know what he's done really well? Anytime Sinner's taken control of the court, like the previous point, and got Stefanos at range, end range there, the ball that came back immediately gave him a neutral position.
Are you kidding me?
Gosh, Sinner looking at his box going, what can I do? Nailed this return. Look at this, pick up.
He knows how good that was. Jaw-dropping stuff. This is as good as I've ever seen Tsitsipas play.
I mean, talk about timing, guys. Every match has gotten better and better. And this is the best we've seen him play, and he's saved it for the quarterfinals, and he needed to. It's far from over, but man, is he looking good.
I mean, of course, when you're trying to assess someone's level, you've always got to take the level of the opponent, his ranking into consideration. I know what Sinner's ball striking can be like. It's not like he's played badly today.
No. Hasn't allowed him to get comfortable, hasn't allowed him to settle in this match at all.
1-all third set.
He's muscling the play right now.
Love 15.
Dictating the point at will, changing direction.
Just getting back to how emotional the previous match was against Taylor Fritz, and Dad was constantly in his ear. Obviously, Postler's got Steph got a coaching violation because his dad was talking to him so much. There's been none of that today. None of it. And look how well Tsitsipas is playing as a result. Don't know if they directly relate it, but it certainly seems that way for me.
15.
It's not too much to be worked up about right now, is there, Robbie?
The one other ball I would like to see, which I have not seen, which is quite extraordinary, is that flighted forehand to the Tsitsipas backhand, trying to get a couple of balls up there. Haven't seen that today at all. Maybe he's not feeling comfortable that he can play that ball, gives Tsitsipas time to get around and hit his forehand.
Athenian artistry. The single-handed backhand 15, in full flow 14. Is something out of this world. This court has seen a few of them in its time. Stan, Roger, Stefanos. What a way to bring up 2 break points.
Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leads 2-1.
Well, it doesn't get much better. 2 sets to love. And the freight train that is Stefanos Tsitsipas is rolling stock right now. 2-1, third set.
Well, guys, he's answered a lot of our questions regarding will the roof being closed change the way this match is played. I guess not.
You know, one of the questions I had, Flip, was, you know, would he feel the effects of that previous match? The second round match was a long one as well against Bayes, 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours against Fritz, but he's a machine, this guy. He's a machine, isn't he?
He works hard on the court, he works hard off the court, he does all the right things. Thinks about the food that he takes.
Time.
He's got his coconut water in lunch, he's got his waters, I mean, he's got his fruit. This kid's the ultimate professional.
Well, the Tsitsipas box has not had much to say this afternoon, and rightly so, because their man has let his racket do all the talking. The shot making has been simply stunning from start to finish. It's 2 sets and a break to the good. That shot right there has been the cornerstone of his game. It's just been the silent killer. I guess if you're Sydney, you're just hoping that you're going to get a look in that Tsitsipas will make 1 or 2 silly decisions. His level will drop off, Mark.
I don't think it will, because from down here he's fresh, he's alert, he's had one purpose from the very first point of this match, and that's to play with this type of offensive mentality, and it hasn't wavered at all.
I agree, Roger. He's not rushing. He's just playing within himself. He doesn't look like he's redlining at all. Just looks in total control.
And very comfortable with the center ball. And that's a little flag there for me, that he's not concerned about the ball coming off the other side of the court.
You think the point is over, but no way. A last gasp effort. Should be worth a bonus point.
First bit of emotion we've seen.
Yes.
That's why you compete, because the last point, the prior point, is just the kind of thing that can ruffle your feathers, right, Mark?
I mean, it did nothing wrong. That's just too good.
Yep.
But you're right. 1 point can change everything.
Let's see if there's any bearing in this game. using the full length of the court. A full length of the court needed.
Look at that volley.
And there's the beauty of being able to win different ways, isn't it, boys? We just saw it right there.
Tsitsipas.
That shot has been otherworldly today.
Tsitsipas
It's from a
leads
different
3
planet.
against
It should
1.
have its own representation.
Roger, a stat that shows how dominant Tsitsipas has been on the serve and how good his serve has been. The first shot after Tsitsipas' serve for the forehand has been 92% and 8% for the backhand.
That's how often he is bringing the forehand into play. Staggering stat.
You're in awe at the moment because
15.
you can't keep your eyes off Stefanos and what's going to come off his racket. You know it's going to be clean, and you know it's going to have some electrifying spin and pace. This is as dialed in as I've seen Stefanos for quite a while.
Yeah, ditto that.
I mean, guys, is it safe to say as dialed in as maybe we've seen anyone yet at this event from the first ball?
That's a good shot.
Thank you.
Someone just yelled out from the Greek fans, "Finish him, Stefanos."
You know, sorry, Rod, but it's already been well documented about the change of strings for Stefanos for his elbow, but wow, how's the ball come off? There were a few conversations around whether he wasn't getting enough arc on the ball and flight. No way, this ball's coming beautifully off his frame tonight.
Don't change anything, right?
Pretty close to the last rights here, boys. 2 break points. And surely that is the penultimate nail in the coffin.
Tsitsipas leads 4 games to 1.
It's been a Tsitsipas masterclass. 4-1 third set.
Guys, I knew coming into this there's going to be some big hitting. I believe that Tsitsipas has the bigger game, but I did not think we're going to see such a one-sided affair like we have. I mean, it's been dominating.
It's been unbelievable. He has not blinked. and it's been every area of his game. He has pummeled Sinner into submission. And that's not easy to do. You've got to remember, Sinner's a top 10 player. He's 10 in the world. It's not like he's somebody around, you know, a lot lower down the rankings. No disrespect to those guys, but top 10 is a special group of people. Well, it's been a tough day at the office for young Jannik Sinner. There's been a steep learning curve. And it looks like Stefanos Tsitsipas is going to keep his clean record in the quarterfinals of majors. He's played 4, he's won 4.
Left reserve. Left first serve. Stop.
And it's been very hard for Sinner because he looks up the other end of the court and there's nowhere for him to go.
He looks like a deer in headlights, doesn't he?
There's the combo of the serve plus the forehand. What a duo that has been this afternoon.
14 left. Cain, Tsitsipas. New balls, please. Tsitsipas leads.
What's the service percentage, Robbie, and for Tsitsipas this set, but also the match?
For the match, 71%. For the set, 71%.
So they're elite numbers. They're not your standard numbers. More importantly, the ball location has been better than that. It's been superb off the first serve.
Yeah, that's a heady combination. In fact, it's the holy trinity, isn't it? When you are serving consistently, you're serving with pace, and then you throw in the accuracy. Doesn't get much better.
15 left.
Again, to put into perspective how good the performance has been, Jannik Sinner is number 10 in the world. He is no slouch. Won 4 titles last year. 4.
Left. Thank you. Cut. 40 left.
How good is that? You're 2 sets to love, 5-1 down. You win that point and you fist pump your team.
Yep. Gotta love it. Gotta respect it.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 2.
Keeping the belief alive, but only just 5-2 Tsitsipas third set. Well, after a little bit of rain, things have cooled down outside the Rod Laver Arena. And the patrons are enjoying a lovely afternoon. One person who has not cooled down is the man in picture, Stefanos Tsitsipas. He has been white hot today. For 2 hours and 3 minutes, he's been almost unplayable, folks. Time for Tsitsipas to put the icing on this performance.
Bounce. Come on. 15 left.
Those are the kind of backhands I'm used to seeing Sinner hit, Rog.
Yeah, but it's the first time he actually legitimately let one go as well, where it actually forced Tsitsipas off the back foot. Would have liked to have seen a bit of that early in this set.
Just copy and paste.
30-15.
Forehand has been a highlight reel of note today. One thing you can't fault Sinner for is his attitude. It has been exemplary, despite all the body blows that he's been taking.
Oh, guys, I know it's double break. This is not yet over. Can easily get nervous.
40-13. Please.
Match point, Tsitsipas. Stefanos Tsitsipas is the very essence of tennis excellence right now. He is through to the semi-finals here for a third time at the expense of Jannik Sinner. and he has blown him away with a match of epic proportions. The shot making was something else. What a performance. In stark contrast to the other two quarterfinals, this was a masterclass from the Greek.
Robbie, was this impressive or what? I mean, I was ready for some big hitting. There was big hitting, but it was so one-sided. I wasn't ready to be, like you said, just blown away by the game we saw from start to finish, as relaxed as he was, playing within himself, changing the direction of the shots, being heavy on the forehand today, going behind his opponent, coming in net, finishing it off, and the serve still for the match at 68%. That was, without a doubt, his most complete match of the tournament.
Roger, quick thought from you?
I thought that was exceptional. That was a step up for him, so that's elite level in every part of the court. What a way to run into whoever ends up at the other end of the court, the winner of tonight's match.
A perfect 5-0 at major quarterfinals now is Tsitsipas. I tell you what, that's not easy to do. He's taken down some big scalps, remember, from 2 sets to love down. This time last year he took out Nadal, and in a match that was very different, he has blown away Jannik Sinner. And it's not like Sinner played poorly, it was just utter dominance from Steph. And given the 5 hours of the previous match he played against Fritz, his fitness levels are looking absolutely stellar. He'll be feeling really good about this. He is going to sleep well tonight. So many positives to think about. And he is a thinker, this guy. He's a deep thinker. His decision-making was epic proportions from start to finish. Brilliance from the beginning to the end. Let's see if he can round things off by taking on Jim Courier.
Congratulations, Stefanos. That was an amazing performance. Jannik is one of the best young players on tour, number 10 in the world. And you came out there and you just were on him from the beginning. What was working well from you from all over the court tonight?
Well, I think my humility helped a lot today. I knew I was going on the court facing a very good player. So I stayed intact. I tried to focus on my best shots, and it kind of paid off more than I thought. And I'm very, very happy with the way I served today, the way I try to come in and use my tactics, and involve my tactics a lot in my today's match structure. And once again, stepping onto that court, having the crowd support, it's truly unbelievable.
You had an early lead, you had a set, you had a break of serve, and then it rained, and they closed the roof. Did that change the conditions? What were you thinking about as you sat there for the 15 minutes before you got to come back out?
It's part of the game. You never know what to expect from the weather, what the weather is going to bring. So, you know, I knew I was heading towards the right direction with the game that I managed to create from the very beginning of the match. And, you know, the conditions might have changed a little bit after the roof was closed. Slightly faster, not as bouncy as before. But so my mind did. I tried to adapt to these new conditions, and it just worked.
It definitely did. There's no doubt. We've seen your game building through this tournament. Your last match, you had to fight hard against Taylor Fritz, and you went to another level in this match. Your off-season was challenging. You had the elbow trouble. You probably didn't get as much training as you wanted. Have you surprised yourself with your level here in Australia this summer?
Well, I'm pretty sure my doctor is watching right now. He has been sending me texts after every single game. Frank, well, we both didn't expect for me to participate at the Australian Open. It was not part of our plan. He certainly told me, I don't see you playing in Australia, but I proved him wrong. But I Well, I got really lucky with Frank. He's a big tennis enthusiast. He has worked with a lot of tennis players, and I'm happy I found the right person to bring me back even stronger.
Yeah, your elbow looks very good right now. Your serve is so strong, and you're back into the semifinals again. You made it last year. You know, this is obviously a big opportunity for you. You're a different player in many ways. You've been in a final of a major. Where do you rate sort of your mindset going into the next match? It's going to be against Medvedev or Auger-Aliassime. Where are you going into that semifinal now with all the experience you've gained in the last year?
I think matches help you evolve a lot. Not having matches in your pocket is something that newcomers and players like Jannik, who has been on the tour not as long as I did, it is something that I've gained over the years, having the opportunity to play in this kind of arenas and in this kind of circumstances, semifinals, finals, trying to clinch titles. One thing that I do learn from that is, you know, consistency is key. Trying to stay humble, although I am in the semifinals, you know, this is just the beginning of everything. I don't have to think too much of myself, not too little as well, and gotta keep in the work, be one with the fans, and let's do it.
Let's do it. You're into the semis. Congratulations, Stefanos.
We are on this together. Let's go.
Well, he speaks so very well, doesn't he? He's an articulate young man. He's a deep thinker. And he will ready himself for either Felix Auger-Aliassime or Daniil Medvedev. And we know historically Daniil's been a tough matchup for him. And the head-to-head, Medvedev's got him more often than not.
It's going to be a complete different game, Robbie. He's got a complete different animal. Whoever wins, of course, Medvedev is favorite in that match. But what he should do now is savor this moment, savor the way he played, just take a deep breath and just appreciate what just happened within the last couple of hours on this court. And he's going to take so much confidence from tonight on to his next one.
Yeah, 8 matches against Medvedev, and he has lost 6. But he's played Felix on 7 occasions and won 5. So I have a sneaky feeling he might be rooting for the Canadian. But I tell you what, when he's playing this well, probably doesn't matter who's on the other side of the court. Your final thoughts and a look at the numbers, please, Mark.
Numbers, I mean, 68% of first serves when you're serving that well, only 20 double faults. Winners, 30-28. Look at that. I mean, there it says it all. Break points 4 or 4. Every time he had an opportunity, he was all over the break points, and not one break point on Sinner's side. Never giving him an opportunity. Was just all over him from the word go.
Yeah, and Jannik having to work hard. You can see all the high intensity changes he had to undergo because he was just sent from coast to coast by his better opponent on the day. It was immaculate in its conception. It was even better in its execution. That was one for the rocking chair for Stefanos Tsitsipas today. He is through to his 5th major semi-final. It's his 3rd here in Oz, and he is flying high. Hope you guys enjoyed that one as much as we did. That was very easy on the hour. Thanks to Roger Rashid and Mark Philippoussis. And we'll be back in not too long of a time here on Rod Laver Arena, but from all of us for now, we'll catch you on the other side.